everybody, and welcome back again to RF Studios with the custom showcases. Holy crap, this is probably my favorite custom to this day. I can't think of another custom that I am super duper excited to show and to review other than Shattered Timeline's Megatron. Now, why and how this exactly exists, I will get into in a moment, but let us just take a moment to, just look over how absolutely glorious this character is. He is by far my favorite. Now, to the how and why he exists in my collection. I have always wanted a Megatron that is, big and tall, much taller than an Optimus Prime. So on the main shelves that I have the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And for the longest time, I was looking into getting Rioter Despotron. Now, the issue with getting said Rioter Despotron, the only place that I can find him is eBay, and eBay has him going for about this price, the price of $300. I'll put it up on screen. So that just gave me, kind of like, I don't want to spend $300 on just one figure. Now, this is where this custom came in, because I was looking at a video by the man known as HLH Creations. Now, he did it using this exact same figure, so it's the Megatron, Age of the Primes, Megatronus the Fallen figure. Now, there's some key differences between his and mine. So I could only get my hands on the face of Armada Galvatron, as you can see by the sheer expression on his face right here. If I go in closer, you'll see what I mean. The sheer expression on his face is quite Galvatron. The other one is, I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can see what I mean. But the Armada Megatron one has a bit of a more normal, face to it, whereas this one has more of a disgruntled texture to it. So, to make mine slightly different, I opted for a couple different things. So, HLH Creations, he's still got some of the purple from the original figure, and he doesn't have these two sections here, the missile launcher and the scope piece. Is it the scope? I have, that thing at the top there, over here. I think it's a scope. I have no idea. Anyway, so mine is slightly different to his, purely honest, for the standpoint of I had to make it different, so it was my own. He also made a custom gun, whereas I just kept the Requiem blaster that came from it, and I stuck a if I go down, I stuck a Decepticon sticker on it. But mine is slightly different, and mine is more of a remnant to the Ascension Verse Megatron, which is Joe using the Rioter Despotron body. Where he has the arm blade on his left arm, and then he's got his gun on the other arm. That's more what I did. So this is one of the only customs that I have done where I was able to do a full scale repaint, and it took a while. Getting the dark grey that seems a bit degraded and old, and it took a while to get correct. And the purple has kind of bled through, so just ignore that purple. But getting it completely right was... Just getting the color scheme right was good. So all the silver you see is all the Sharpie done. So it's all in his hands, his arms as well. And everything was all painted over with that, gray color. Now, the red, the little asymmetrical accents of red are taken from the War for Cybertron mold, much like how Mr. HLH Creations did his, except I did mine a lot more. So the whole forearm is painted in the red. Down on his legs, you can see here that part's painted red. This is red. Arms, yeah, all on all along the gun as well. The shoulder, yeah. So I've gone complete and utter bonkers with the red, just because I really do love the Fall of Cybertron look. But I am really, really proud of how this one ended up. So in terms of the painting process for this one, the first thing I actually did was actually fiddle around with the color scheme for the gray, because getting I had about 3 different gradients of gray that I tried. So when I was layering on the paint, I would give it like a bit of a darker tone each time, and that is how the gray actually came about. So each gray that was lathered onto him was actually all different. So what I did was I gave him the coat of primer just to, you know, make sure well, first of all, I cleaned him off. Cleaned everything off with alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, I think it was exactly, but yeah, isopropyl alcohol to clean him off, make sure that he's a bit of a nicer surface to paint, and then I sprayed him with a couple coats of black primer just to get the plastic ready. And then following that, we did all the painting. So we messed around with the gray a little bit, and then I was adding on the red, and then the purple was last. The head was painted separately. Well, actually, the whole thing got disassembled to as much as I could. So I think all that was left of his body was the shoulders and the torso. And then the legs got taken off, and then the arm gun got taken off, and the arms itself got taken off as well. And so did all the little bits at the top. And they all got everything got painted together. So we did the arms one day. I did the arms, then I did the legs, then I did the body and the head. And then once I had finished, because the head and the 2 arm gun things were very easy, and they're just Sharpie and the primer, and then done. And then after that, it painted everything. And I think the process took about 3 days entirely for me to end up with this. Now, ignore the two little things here, because I'm actually tempted to take them off because I don't like how they look. But I haven't decided yet. So he's been sitting on my shelf just like this the whole time. And then right at the end, I put varnish on him. So he was actually the second figure that I have currently to have gotten an application of varnish. But yeah, this is Megatron in Shattered Timeline Part 2. You will see him from Part 2 onwards. But I may use him for other things. He is my normal Megatron, so he just sits on my shelf like a normal Megatron. So let me pull the camera back a little bit, and I'll get a friend. Well, not so much a friend, but I'll show you the height difference between this Megatron and the main Optimus that I use. So I've always liked having Optimus slightly shorter than Megatron. It's always been the way in my mind. And I think that the height difference is beautiful, because Voyager, Leader, you know, it was always going to be that way. And I quite enjoy how he looks as that figure. And I also did give him the spare blade from the Dark Master, the APC Toys Dark Master. I gave him the spare blade, and I painted the blade. So this is now officially his and not the Dark Master's blade. But both of them together are just absolutely gorgeous, I think. I think it works really well. So this is Megatron as I see him as a Decepticon leader. So we'll move on to the vehicle mode so you can see how that looks with it all together. Alright, and this is the fun fact for everybody. I've actually never transformed this or Megatronus before, so I had no idea how it looks out, and I've not transformed it properly, and I cannot be bothered fixing it, to be honest, so you're gonna have to be stuck with looking at Megatron like this. But look, for the most part, this is the tank mode, and it's the exact same as the Megatron as well. But I think in these colors with the giant Decepticon sticker at the top of the tank itself actually looks fucking beautiful. So, in saying that, this is Megatron, and I'm going to keep his vehicle mode short because there's not much I can really say about it. He does look beautiful though, so I don't know. I'm quite happy with it, so hope you like the look of this Megatron. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? So let's get him back in robot mode, and we'll end the video. And here we are at the end of the custom. Let me put this thing back on him. So yeah, this is Megatron as he appears in Shattered Timeline Part 2. And you'll probably see this guy in future projects after Shattered Timeline, because I am actually quite proud of this one, and I probably will be keeping him for a very long time in the collection. He is quite happily one of my favorites. So, as for the collection, for the customs going on, there are only a handful of them that I can think of doing that are customed enough to warrant a video on them. And that is really Shatterglass, Starscream, and Sentinel Prime. I am planning on getting more customs very, very soon. So I just need time for those, but these are the next two that are going to be appearing on the Instagram. So please, there's always a link in the description for these videos for the Instagram. Please go follow the Instagram. Give me satisfaction. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, please go to the Instagram to vote, to have your say in what custom you want to see next, because those polls do get posted all the time whenever there's another one coming up. I am planning on doing a Shattered Glass Wheeljack / a Slicer. And I say / because I'm actually doing two customs. So when I do Shatterglass Wheeljack, I will actually include Slicer in that custom video. So on the custom, I will put him up as an option as well, but he will become, if that one is voted for the most, he will come later down the track. So in like another couple, like about a month or so. I don't know when I'm actually going to be able to order the figure for him, because getting that figure is a pain in the ass. But in that case, we have all of these guys, and I am going to be doing the April ranking on Instagram. So if you want to see anything to do with Shattered Timeline spoilers, other than the sneak peek that I've already posted, which is not 100% complete, but it is basically the only scene that has been done and filmed that has every voice line available. So a big shout out to Mel and Crosshairs Productions for doing those lines and getting them to me as soon as possible, because holy crap, I think I put it up and it's already got a decent amount of views, and it's just a sneak peek. It's a 1 minute scene. But that scene alone has not been completely finished, but that's for the most part how it rolls. So yeah, big shout out to those two for that. They are absolutely wonderful, and it is very nice to have Crosshairs as Treadshot. That was being able to say that I have him is like it's just such a glory to myself. And it's funny because people have actually asked me how. Simply, I ask. But it is such a good it's a good thing. Crosshairs, if you're listening, I'd like to work for you too. If you ever need new blood, let me know. Because I'm a huge fan, always have been, as you can see by the many customs that I have. If for some reason you're watching this custom video, a lot of my customs are based off of your work, so I'm a huge fan. If you couldn't already tell. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I have time for today. This is my favorite custom, hence why it is the longest. Ignore my dogs barking in the background if you can hear it. But this is, for the most part, this is my favorite custom as of currently. So, you will see this guy a lot. But thank you anyway for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.